Hello, hello, hello. We live here. We're gonna talk a little bit about everything, nothing in particular. Let's see who's coming on. Let's see this. Let me put on the TV and see what we have here. Let's see who's live, who's watching, who's watching, who's watching. Who's watching? Let's see. Let me get on. Yeah, let's talk about the travel. Medellin. See what time it is. Let's see what's coming on. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was saying, I'm planning to be in Medi on the 17th and get a feel of things. I've only been to. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, I don't see myself. I don't. Hey, what's good? What's good, Alan? Yeah, so yeah, I was talking about. I'm thinking about going to Medi. So for the first time, so that's gonna be quite interesting. Never been there, so definitely interested to see what it's like. Yeah, and get yeah, so yeah, and see. So yeah, so it's been quite interesting this week. Back in the DR, you know. Was that for a short time. I was in Chile and then, back in the DR. And I was talking to Buck earlier. We're talking about Medi. I hope it's coming on so we can finish our conversation. What's good, Conceited? What's good? What's good? Yeah, I was bored, so I decided to actually. Hey, Big Mike, what's good? Yeah, I'm thinking about going to Medi on the 17th, so I'm doing my ticket and see what it's like for May 17th for the first time. Kind of get a feel of things. Yeah, so definitely we'll see what it's like. We'll see what it's like. Yeah. Hey, Brent, what's good? What's good? I've been good, bro. Just been busy doing my thing. So it has been great so far. So far, it's been great. Can't complain. Can't complain. Yeah. So planning my first time to Medi and see what it's like. Yeah. Okay. So it says that Chile be good, slow paced. Okay. Okay. Definitely. So how's the city? Is it as clean as Santiago, like Scone, Providencia, or it's just different? How is it? How is it? You know. So I'm gonna be there with Gans, who's going there. So I'm gonna be there with him and see what it's like. Yep, yep, definitely. Because I've been to in Latin America. I've been, of course, to I know so many countries like DR, of course. I did, of course, Chile. I did Uruguay. I did Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, but only in Bogota. Yeah, Branchi. I mean, guess what? I mean, the day of the collapse, I was actually invited to go there and decided not to last week because my boy canceled on me. So I ended up staying. So I'm glad I didn't because imagine, I guess I would be on the news now. So that was a very unfortunate situation. Yeah, yeah. Let me add Buck. Yeah.
Hey, salute.
Salute, Buck. What's good?
Yeah. So, yeah, like I was saying, man, you're gonna have a good time out there, bro. You're gonna have a good time out there. You're going there with a group.
With
First of
begins.
all, you're going over there with a group. Are y'all gonna rent a penthouse or you're doing your own Airbnb or hotel?
No, I'm gonna do a hotel because usually I like to do Marriott because I like to have my breakfast in the morning. I don't have, like like I'm an ambassador late in the Marriott. I get free. I get access to the lounge. They have good appetizer. Free alcohol and breakfast included. So that's what I'll do. I'll go to I'll find a Marriott. Yeah, I'd rather do that. Yeah, so I don't have to cook. At least when I get there, I go downstairs and just get my my breakfast. Like a specific type of breakfast. So I'd rather do that. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me get a chair. Give me a quick second. I'll be right back.
Hey, Brand G and Conceited, salute y'all, man. Come on, Big Mike. Also, come on the panel, guys, man. We gotta give Strictly Travel tips, on how to move around Medellin, Colombia. He's going there for the first time.
Yeah, buddy. First time you have to get a chair because yeah, first
I'm
time. So
surprised because you've been pretty much all over the world, and you're just not going to Medellin for the first time.
first time I've been to Bogota.
Okay.
Only in Bogota, and one time I spent one night in Guatapé for a quick meeting, and that was it. I stayed an autograph there, and that was it. So I didn't get a chance because it was a quick meeting. And then so this time, I was gonna be able to, I want to be able to, go for pleasure. So that's gonna be interesting, yeah. Because
Yeah.
somehow, because usually when I travel, it's usually for business purposes, and I go ahead and use it for like vacation at the same time. And usually, let's say I'm in a place. Let's say, for instance, I was in Turkey. Then, if I'm in Turkey, I will visit Istanbul, Bodrum, Antalya. Then, also the neighboring countries. Like if I go to, I went to Bulgaria from Turkey. I went to Israel. I went to Armenia. I went to Jordan. I like to go, and that's why I travel. I like to explore different things, different areas, the culture, and I'm a solo traveler, so yeah. But Medellin came to my attention because everybody talk about it on the space. I'm like, I got to experience it, but I just have to be careful with the drink and all that stuff. So I didn't really be on my P's and Q's. So I didn't really have to pay attention. Yeah.
Like I said, the first time you go over there, you land there, and you take that taxi from the airport, and you go into the city, into the Medellin of the valley. That view is just it's like one of the best. And I've been a lot of places. One of the most best views when you go in, because Medellin is in the valley,
Okay.
and when you taking that taxi and on the road to Medellin, you literally see this whole city on a valley. Like literally, you can pinpoint which areas on the city. You can literally, when you going down, you can literally see it, and it's like just the beauty aspect. Like I said, it's like a city in the jungle. Like it's
Okay.
out
Okay.
there in the jungle. It's very nice. You go over there, you see like it's the people are friendly, and it's like one of the people that is like extra friendly. The it's like one of the most cheapest places, and also it's very modern. It's like when I talk about modern, it's like especially the areas you'll be staying at, it's like on par with the first world. It's like clean. It's like you. The only downside I experienced from Medellin is like the food. The food was not my cup of tea,
But
and you
everybody's saying that.
the food is not my cup of tea. So when I was out there, I met this Turkish dude. You know what's crazy because he had a crazy story. He was a Turkish dude. He
Okay.
came to he flew from Istanbul to Medellin like 15 years ago. He fell
Okay.
in love with the city. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna open my own Turkish restaurant over here. So
Okay.
he opened a Turkish restaurant. Eventually married a Medellin Paisa chick, Colombian chick, and he's been living there since then. But anyways, I've been going to his spot because I couldn't stand Colombian food. I was like, Colombian food is not for me. So I was going to that Turkish place. Then I was going to this Peruvian place. Then I was going to this Indian place. They all near. All of them are near each other. Like if you're in the tourist area, well, you know what areas I'm going to talk. It's like Kaye 10. That's
Okay.
where all the shops, all the what are you looking for is going to be. It's like make sure when you stay in Medellin, you should make sure you stay in the Provincia area, the Poblado area.
Okay.
Poblado area is like where all the activities is. You know, make sure when you take the chick, you take the Uber straight from the park to your whatever place. Do not walk in the middle of the night. Uh, because Medellin is not the city where you can just openly walk in the middle of the night. Make sure you don't have no jewelry. No, do not rock any jewelry. Do not have your phone out at night. Uh, don't even be showing your phone in the dark alley. Just make sure the park is safe. The park is safe. You can have your phone out because everybody's there. The police, everybody. Provincia is also safe, but
It's called
outside of that,
what is called Provence what? Provincia.
Provincia.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's called Provincia. That's where all the Colombian locals. That's where they go to, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's still there, but it gets slow. Everything's closed early on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, Wednesday start picking up. Thursday is when it start going up. Friday, Saturday is like crazy, and you know the chicks they'll show up over there. They'll show up in the park. You know, it's all flavors, like whatever you like, from light skin to dark skin, Afro, Latina, whatever you want, you'll find over there.
But my question is, the majority of those are they regular?
So
Are they
if you in the Provincia and also Parque Jerez, they're kind of like a mixed bag. It's like you're gonna have a mixed bag. Provincia, if you go to Provincia, that's where all the local girls hang out. You know, so if you want something like a regular, you go to Provincia, and if you want something more of a regular, you go to the malls during the daytime. If you want a regular chick, and you trying to holler at her, make sure you go to the malls during the daytime. But the park, it's all mangoes. Like the park, it's all mangoes. Then the park nearby is Provincia, where you have local couple. You'll see couples. You'll see like girlfriends with their friends over there. They're regulars, and they're eating at a restaurant. That's regulars. But if you want a regular girl, like I said, Provincia, then you go to the malls during the daytime.
okay? Okay. 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 Interesting. Interesting.
The city is green. Everything is like green. Like I'm talking about. Evolves in plant. So everywhere you go, you will even in the malls, you see there's a lot of plant life. It's you can smell how plant the whole city is. Like
Oh,
everything
really?
plant is plant. Like if you ever went to a greenhouse plant, uh I don't know, one of those museums, it's kind of like that. They incorporate, that's one thing people like about Medellin. Is like they incorporate so much green into it because the city is like it's the same temperature year round, and it's like a recipe for plants. It's like to grow. You know, it's like you get the rain, you get the sun, and it's like the perfect atmosphere for plant life to grow. So it makes sense that Colombians they incorporate plant life into everything over there. So that's one thing for sure is over there. And like I said, um just don't, you can dress well. You can dress well. It's just that
Flashy.
don't stand out too much. Colombians, because Colombians they take pride in the way they dress, because when you see a Colombian, especially in Poblado area, you see that everything is on point. Like I'm talking about the girls, you see them like shit is lined up. The white pants doesn't have no. It's like all white. It's clean. It's they really. But the thing is, like they don't show off too much to the point that jewelry and all that you're not gonna see out there.
Okay. 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 So you have to be very careful. Okay. Okay.
So NYC, the future, and Relo are going there next week. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see that. I want to see how things turn out to be.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
I'm just wondering how it's going to be. I'm just curious to see that. Yeah.
so and these guys are expected to record, which even makes it more dangerous because, like I said, in Medellin, it's like you can't be having your phone out like that.
Oh, really? You can't.
No, no. Outside, like I said, outside of Provencia, those places I mentioned, and you go outside. Let's just say you go to a dark alley. Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So it's like, and big games will tell you that.
Because I mean, the interesting thing is that usually, I mean, when I go places, I go to the I go to secure places. I don't like to go to things that looks if it doesn't look safe. I like to stay in main arteries. You know what I mean? Where you have high traffic. People are normal, so at least I know I'm staying safe because otherwise, you might, especially when you're new to a city, you have to be able to know where to hang out. Usually, I'm pretty much, I mean, as a seasoned traveler, I like to know where to go. But better yet, Medellin is a whole different story because I heard it's nice, but I never been to a place where they would tell you you're scoping and stuff like that. You know what? So it's a new experience to me. It's like interesting. I never I never had to be on my I never had to be alert anywhere I've been because I've been to place where relatively safe where you know where danger is. But it seems like Medellin, you don't know.
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
the
so it's a
thing is
place
like,
where definitely I need to be careful.
and that's the thing is like, a lot of guys in the space don't mention is, yeah, because a lot of guys, there's a lot of guys right now getting drugged in Medellin, but they don't report it because there's some guys, maybe that might have wives back home, and they don't want to report that, because that can be a bad look.
Yeah, because exactly.
Yeah, because some guys will take their L. They were like, okay, let me just take this L and not show the cookies. You see what I'm saying? So I would say it's a quite an experience. When I say it's like when you go over there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Big gains. He been out there, so
Yeah,
he'll
yeah, it's
show it
been
to
out
you.
there. It's been out there. So he told me so, and then also some of his friend is going with being out there as well. So at least they know where to go, where not to go. So so it's gonna be pretty interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
So
yeah. Because I mean, honestly, I mean, it's quite a phenomenon. I'm trying to understand. Even here, recently, two Colombians were arrested. They were drugging people here in the DR. They were luring them in. They were actually, and I believe they found them with like $32,000. They were arrested, of course. But here they
hmm
will get you, and you get prosecuted. So it's like they really because it's not part of the practice in the DR. You never see anybody. I mean,
yeah,
women they're about their money, but they will not drug you. They will not physically try to harm you. That's the safe thing. That's the good thing about here. So, but as I said, I mean, maybe of course you have to be careful, but it's but how do you decipher who is who?
the thing is, you just don't drink around them. That's the thing. Do not drink around anybody you just met.
Okay, so okay,
Because sometimes what happened is, sometimes even these chicks, they will play the long game on you. So what happened is this dude
mm,
this dude was dating this Colombian girl in Cali, Colombia. He was dating her for 9 months. Guess what? He finally got trusted in her and all that. He started drinking by him. Guess what? She scoped him.
after 9 months.
Yes, she scoped him. She cleared out his crypto bank accounts, cleared out everything because she was trying to. Because what she did is like she was trying to get a. She played the long game, so she
Yeah,
cleared out his crypto accounts, his bank accounts, his Charles Schwab, Fidelity accounts, regular U.S. bank accounts, everything, and she got him for the long game.
Wow. But didn't, well, sometimes, man, you can be stupid, but didn't, because there gotta be signs. And I mean, first of all, I mean, my question is, did he speak Spanish?
It was more of a. He spoke a little bit of it.
Okay, okay, okay.
He
Because I
spoke a
mean,
he spoke a little bit of it. He said it was his girlfriend, and he even said it when, when he got drugged and when he reported her, he said that was his girlfriend.
but the other question is, did he meet any of that girl's parents or family members?
Um, nope,
I
he
can't,
didn't. He didn't.
think about it. If you date a girl for 9 months and you don't meet any family members,
Yeah, that's a red
that's a
flag. Yeah.
red flag.
So he didn't. So he was dating her for 9 months. I
Wow.
think. I think he was kind of hiding some things. I think it was more of a his fuck f buddy, and he didn't want to put it out there like that. He instead, he was trying to save face, saying that he was dating her. But I think it was more of a
A
f
long
buddy,
term, a long term type thing. Yeah. So it was like,
a long term f buddy situation. Where she bought, because that's a good point you brought up. You said if she didn't meet her, you don't meet her parents after 9 months. That's a red flag. You know,
exactly.
to me, it's like after the third month. Let's just say you like this girl, and y'all been on you really think she's serious. I feel like after the third month is when you start meeting, you start seeing people. Their folks. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Because I mean, like you said, I mean, like it was just a long term thing that, because me personally, I mean, after, after 3 weeks, a month, you gotta see at least a cousin or I don't know, sister, somebody.
Sister,
You know what I mean?
or cousin. Yeah, as you said, sister, cousin. See, you got to get her Facebook account. Maybe she has a Facebook. You can see. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, something because at least a real name and stuff like that. Because bro, 9 months. That's the thing. I mean, some people get blinded by the P. I mean, they just don't really, they don't know how to. They just lose any type of common sense.
Yeah.
Because
So
me personally, I never had that issue in. Like in there is not an issue, but at least I like to deal with. I know the year, of course. Like, for instance, the girl I'm dating now. She's a cool one. She has a job. She has, she actually a person that has. And then she has a LinkedIn. So she. I know exactly who she is. I know her place. I know brothers, dad. So at least you have those things. But if you did a girl for 9 months, you don't know anything about her descendancy or her parents. That's a red flag.
yeah.
But the scoping, are they part of an organization or they just stand alone? How does it work?
What is it?
Those girls, the scoping women, are they part of an organization of
There,
some type of
there's
organization?
they got some people mastermind that shit. You know, they got some people mastermind. And what happens? Here's another thing you should also worry about. What happens is most of these scoping girls, they're painting themselves as regular girls instead of P4P,
Okay.
instead of the P4P girls. What they're doing is a lot of guys are like, oh look, I'm gonna go to Colombia. I'm gonna only mess with non-pros. So guess what? They do that thinking that these girls are in their best interests, and these girls play the game, and they just scope and drug them. They said
Uh,
something like
uh,
90% of the girls that drug these dudes, they pass themselves as a regular girls instead of P for P girls. Because the
so,
P for P girls, they just want to get their money and bang out, and that's it. These
okay.
girls, they want more than money. They want your whole assets. And
So
then
it's a
what they do is like they come off as regular girls. Like where they want to do dates and things of that nature, and you see what I'm saying.
Yes, so they will get you. Okay, so it's a
So
long.
so so they will get you on the back end. So you see what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so. So that's how one way they get a lot of guys in space. Like I said, like I when I went there, bro, it's like I knew about all the drug in it and all that. I knew about it because when I went there, it was a local Colombian dude who got deported from the U.S. who was giving me all this game. He was I met him in the park. He was giving me all this game. He was deported from the U.S. because I think he got deported from the U.S. because he was doing some social security fraud. And I met him out there, and he was telling me how he used to live in New York. Did some gang shit, hang out with the wrong crowd, and they sent him back. But anyways, he was giving me game. He was like, "Yo, don't drink around those chicks. Just be on the lookout."
Yeah, so you have to be careful. That's okay, okay. It's kind of unfortunate the way you have to be on your P's and Q's, and instead of being like
Yeah, Colombia
normal,
is
that
the only place where you gotta really. I mean, everywhere you gotta be on your Q's and Q's, but Colombia, you really gotta be tight.
wow, that's
Yeah.
bad though. If you have to be tight and you can't be just normal, so you have to be always alert. So
Uh
you
huh.
can't you can't be drunk and walking.
Uh huh.
Just can be. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, because everywhere I've been, always been to regular places where you don't have to worry about those things. Like we're just like normal. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
Where you just meet, like for instance, like because here's the thing: I never been to a place specifically for any type of purpose. I travel, and if I meet someone, it's part of the deal, part of the trip, but it's not my main focus. You know what I mean?
Uh
And you,
huh.
like for instance, I remember when I was in Istanbul, I was working, I was getting my residency together, and I went to immigration to find a status, and there I met this chick who spoke English, and that's how we connected because she spoke English. She said, "Okay, well," I gave her my number. She gave me hers. I said, "Let's meet later on for drinks." That's how things got started. You just operate. So those places, like it seems like Medellin is really is like a different version of the Sioux, right?
Uh huh.
That is it.
It's like, man, I wouldn't say the Sioux, but it's, how would I say it's like it gets more active at night. You know, I would suggest if you just trying to have fun out there in Colombia, just go to the daycare spots. They got daycare centers. Where you do your thing over there. Massage parlors. Yeah. And
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, those places is like it's like the probably one of the most safest place because the first of all the girls are vetted, the girls are verified. Everything is verified. You go in there, you pick, choose. It's more of a where the other one there's a risk behind it. The other one there's always a risk behind what's going on. So yeah, obviously overall, I would say Colombia is a good experience, man. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that deducts a couple points from Colombia is just the crime level, bro. If Colombia right now, if they resolve their crime level, I would say they would be in the top one, bro. Like they would become right now number one in the space right now for me. The only thing that's holding back Colombia right now is just the
It's
high
the
level
crime
of
level.
crime. I'm talking about strictly travel. You'll feel it. You'll as you in the R, bro. It's free flowing. It's like when you go to Colombia, you'll see. It's like you'll sense it. You kind of will sense the danger element, even though it's a beautiful place. The people are friendly, warm. It's like they're treating you like it's everything is perfect. The girls are beautiful. I'm telling you, like, it's like you're gonna see the eights, nines, and tens over there, especially if you go to the mall.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the regular girls. You're gonna see a lot of them eights, nines, and tens. Woof. And it's like them girls, they really, the attention to detail is on point. They really pay attention to their appearance. They take that shit serious. Like a Colombian girl, when she leaves her home, she everything is on point. And I'm like, that's what really attracts. I mean, that's why they're like in the top up there right now.
but look at it. Every time there is a Miss Universe,
Yes,
there's always a contestant from
Colombia or
Colombia
Venezuela.
all the time. I mean, I
It's
mean,
either
all the
Colombia,
time.
Venezuela, or Uruguay or Brazil. You see what I'm saying? It's the hype
Always,
is
yeah,
real, man. It's like, cause I always used to think, man, what the heck is going on? But then I went over there and I seen it with my own eyes. I was like, yo, oof, you know,
yeah. Because I remember, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a friend of mine went to. It's from Dubai, and Dubai. It's expensive. Those things. If you wanna those paying services. There they call them business women, and then you know it go the most expensive one you use like 8,000-9,000 dirham, which is like average of $2,000. And he said when I was in Venezuela, he said was a flight attendant crew. They were trained to be flight attendant crew. He said strictly this place is crazy. Those are 8 to 9,000 dirham
hmm
women, meaning they were like the most expensive. But he said all over the place. He said he was mesmerized by Venezuela. I say, wow. I mean, he
yes,
called me and said, he said, this is heaven, literally. And go figure, this
I
dude is from Dubai, which has,
mhm.
we have like a melting pot, women from all over the place. But said they say, they were like in per square mile, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. For me to square would say like in a small area. He said it was just like it was overwhelming. He loved it. He said he loved it. But never been to Venezuela. But he said he loved it. He loved Venezuela. He was happy about it. I mean, he stayed there for a month. He had a great time. And guess what? His girlfriend now she's from Venezuela. He actually made her brother back to the United Arab Emirates. So yeah, he was surprised. Imagine. So he said they're just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think now 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 that I deal with Colombians and Venezuelans in my last span of my trip, I'm now siding with Venezuela. Venezuelan women are more beautiful, just slightly more beautiful than Colombian women. And the treatment you get from them is even more better.
Yeah.
It's the treatment is better, and they also a little just they beat Colombian women just by a tiny bit. It's not that noticeable unless you all focus on it. But Venezuelan are a little bit more beautiful than Colombian women, and the treatment you get out of Venezuelan women is much, much better. It's obviously when you over there, and here's the thing, bro. Imagine if Caracas, Venezuela was open, bro. Whoo, 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 whoo. Imagine if Venezuela was safe and open, bro. That shit would, man.
I can imagine because unfortunately, it's so hard to. I mean, but for what it told me where it was, it's so hard to get there for. I mean, for example, you citizen, what's the ongoing thing? Of course, like it's from the UAE, he didn't have any problem. And then he was telling me that as far as he was concerned, it was really safe. I mean, he really enjoyed it. I mean, he said it was a very safe place, and then that he actually liked it, and he didn't see any of those things that you hear that it's unsafe. He said no, he enjoyed it, and Nice place. It was a good nightlife. It was just, and they felt like they were very friendly and and approachable, because I know lots of Venezuelan in Chile. I know more Venezuelan and Colombian. Of what I've seen, and I think I will agree with you that they're slightly they looks better than they have a better, they're more attractive than Colombia. I think you're right when it comes to that. At least the one I've seen. And also something I found out about the Venezuelan, they are more educated.
Yep.
At least the one I've met in
Yes.
Chile, the majority were well educated.
Mm-hmm.
I met a few who spoke actually great English, and then so I was pretty much impressed by that. I've dated one, no, actually I've dated two from that I can remember from Venezuela and Chile, and it was quite a good experience. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, Colombian did one, yeah, just one, not two, and I can tell you, education-wise and class-wise, I found that the Venezuela are classier. I think the one I've dealt with, but not sure if it's
Yeah.
because I haven't had enough experience with Colombia to be able to assess. But
Mm-hmm.
the one actually I've been with, I found they had a better intellect. You know.
Yes. Yep. That's what I was saying about the treatment. It's like you'll get a lot of just the better treatment, especially the ones I deal with. They spoke English and they're
Yeah.
more educated. You said, even though they were in Colombia with the Colombian women, they spoke English and they're more educated. And it's just like I said, the treatment was just, man, it was just a much better experience I got out of it. I was like, at that point, that's when I realized, like, yo, it's Venezuela and Colombian women, right? For me, it's like, even though DR women, man, when I went to Blue Mall, they're up there. I think. Now, have you seen Cuban women, bro, in Miami? Whew,
Yeah, but here's the thing though. You in
whew,
Blue
whew.
Mall, but let me tell you something. Do you know you have a lot actually Blue Mall? It's owned by Venezuelan.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, so all those luxury mall, store that you see in Blue Mall, those are the one that used to be in Venezuela. And after their, like the economic issues, they have so many financial issues, they've decided to come to the DR. So, like, Carolina Herrera, she's Venezuelan, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then Louis Vuitton, all those stores used to be in Venezuela. They all came here. So you have lots of even the other mall is called Sambil Mall, if I'm not mistaken. It's also owned by Venezuela. So in Blue Mall, but so there, I mean, in DR you have also not that many Venezuelans, Chile, but you have a good group of Venezuela, like, or in uh, in DR. So you'll find a little bit of everything. So yeah, so Blue Mall, which is the nicest mall, it's
Mm-hmm.
upscale type of mall. So therefore, the quality of women
Mm-hmm.
you see there are amazing, especially when you go
Oof.
to a place called SBG. It's a nice restaurant it's a nice restaurant and bar. They have another place called Shibuya, and you can also go to the Marriott. When you go to the lobby, they have a sitting area where there's a bar. You will meet some very appealing and attractive women. Just have to know where to go. I mean, but yes, you're right. I mean, India, when they are fine, they are fine. So they can actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I cannot really compare to Venezuela because I've never been to Venezuela. Nor I've been to. I mean, I've been to Colombia just in Bogota. That was for a couple of days, and in Guatapé, that was just a day. So I don't really. But this time I'm gonna be able to assess. And tell
Mhm.
me, how's the mall like in Medellin?
So, like I said, it's like they got a lot of malls. They got a couple malls. You just got to go to the main ones, the best ones. Like I said, the malls is like you're gonna see, especially where you're at. Like if you're at Poblado area, you're gonna see the upper class Colombians. So
Okay.
you're gonna see a lot of them, and them chicks, those are the regular chicks I was talking about. Oof, baddies just walking around. And one thing you're gonna notice about the mall is like It's more greenly infused, plant infused. It's beautiful. It's like some of them are open from the top, and it's like the design is like something. If you're like into architect and all that, you'll see it, and it's like you have running water, like a waterfall is good. Like there's food places you can eat. There's a food court. There's a clothing store. There's a electronic store. There's a lot of stuff you can go over there. Like I said, it's but you're going there with a group. I would say when you go to Medellin, make sure you utilizing the Ubers. Ubers is cheap over
Okay.
the taxis. Taxis sometimes they will overcharge you. Make sure you do the Uber.
Okay.
Uber is much better. So yeah, just and it's cheap. It's cheap from going from one place to another. So like I said, it's like I've been there many times. Last time I went there was 5 years ago, but it's like it's the experience I had over there is like I said, NYC the future and this guy right now. I
Yeah.
think they gotta have somebody with them. They cannot do this by themselves. Especially NYC the future. NYC the future is he's a walking victim.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Definitely. Yeah.
he's a walking victim because if he couldn't survive in DR, if he failed the test in DR, and it took him like 4 or 5 times to finally get it right, what makes you think he's gonna survive in Colombia? Just be honest.
Yeah.
They put
Especially
him.
where exactly where it kind of get him, it can get lured in easily, and
Yeah, like you strictly travel. I can like you can go there solo, and I'm confident you can still come out of Colombia. It's like because you're more experienced, level-headed, critical thinker. You have some sort of street smarts. NYC the future, on the other hand, it's like he's a walking victim.
yeah.
The street smarts is not there. He's not thinking properly about certain things. He can get finessed. It's and he was drinking around chicks in DR. He used to not do that in Colombia. You know, so I
Yeah.
think I
And all,
think
yeah, because I mean, when there's a when you have travel advisory in a country where they say be careful
yes,
with
yes,
that, you know it's serious. You know it's serious. So definitely something that you have to be aware of your surrounding, and then and then those because you have to be careful because I know experienced traveler who got scoped. That's the thing, though.
uh-huh,
So it's a place where definitely have to be on the P's and Q's, and like I say, don't drink. I'm like I said because that's what they would just you go to the restroom, they would just sprinkle a few things there. Next thing you know, you're
yep,
out of it. So it's so easy. It's so easy. You just take a quick second. So yeah.
yeah. So there was the last case I think I heard about somebody getting drugged, and it was his brother from Minnesota. He got robbed and killed. He got scoped and killed because he
Wow.
brought over 3 chicks. He was drinking around them, and he went to the restroom. He came back. They poured the scopoline on it. He drank it, and he was knocked out. I'm talking about he just pretty much passed out, died. And the story became viral because you know why it became viral? Because his wife in Minnesota found out about it. It was going
Wow.
viral. It went on social media. It went over the news. Think about it. It's a married dude who went to Medellin, and his wife found out about it when he was living in Minnesota. His wife in Minnesota. So
Wow.
not only you got single dudes in this space traveling for that, now you also got married dudes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's like Colombia is like you gotta. I would suggest like for you is like just be with big gangs crew all the time.
Yeah,
You
definitely we
know,
do that.
you'll have fun out there. Just when you were a bigger group, you can start filming. Nobody's gonna. You know how big gangs roll. He's like big gangs is very. You know.
Oh,
Uh,
listen, I went out with when it was in Santo Domingo. Bro, the guy is so alert, it's crazy.
he's alert.
Oh yeah, bro, the guy doesn't. I mean, he will sit, and the whole time is like he's in the like in a strategic place where he has a view of the whole thing. Never his back turned. Like it's always like at least if his back is in the wall, so you can see the whole surrounding. I was like, I was like, okay, now you know how to move. That was like pretty it's very yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah, oh yeah.
that's
Very
that's the
alert.
game.
So I was like, I like that. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the gangster lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but it's a very cool,
yeah, he's
when I
a
first,
very cool dude, man.
very cool dude and
Have you seen that clip
open.
of
Yeah.
him? Have you seen that clip of him when he was in Sasua? It was on Razor Ray's show. It was that balls empty, belly food balls empty
Belly full,
clip.
balls empty.
Yeah.
I cracked up with like
I
that's
cracked up so hard when he did that. Yo, that was he won me over. I became a fan after him. After
yeah.
that,
You should trademark that sentence. I was
I
like,
was like, yo, I. And what's crazy is, I think it was Rello or some other dude was wearing a T-shirt of that Halloween in the suit when they came up another time. So you know, so it was a quite experience. But you're gonna be safe with him. It's like the games know how to move. Um, he's going there with the folks, But you're
yeah.
gonna
So
be.
as long as it's a big group, and then it's easy to be able to assess, and yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now, have you officially booked your flights, everything
I,
already?
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to. Oh, yeah. So yeah,
So you stand at a hotel or what?
yeah. I'm gonna look at which hotel they have there. Like I said, I'm part of the Marriott Bonvoy group, and then so like I said, my status is ambassador elite. So with that, I get not automatic upgrade, and then I got a suite, whatever the level is, which is available. So then I get breakfast, access to the lounge, and so those things are like and also I like it for security wise. It's very secure. So I just like that. I just like I like hotels. So because whether we pay for Airbnb, I get the same rate for hotels. So I might as well don't have to worry about making my bed up in the morning. Everything's taken care of. That type of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I will do definitely. I like hotels personally. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Strictly, I gotta roll out.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
Sounds good.
gotta.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's getting that time of you in Dubai or DR?
No, no, back in the yard. Back in the yard.
Oh, dang! You be going back and forth for DR and
Yeah, bro. Because
Dubai. Like how's
something.
how's
Yeah.
that working out, man? I've got to, man.
But you have two ways of doing it. You can go through Brazil, through Sao Paulo, and Sao Paulo direct flight to Dubai, or you can go through Spain. You go through Spain and then Spain, Dubai, or you can go through Belgium and Belgium, Dubai directly. So it depends. So usually I see which one is close and look at the best deal, and then and I just go, and then I will stay there for maybe 2-3 days, depends on what I need to do, and then come back, and then sometimes have to go. Yeah. So, but probably starting June after my major, I want to be there slightly longer because I have a few things I need to take care of. Dubai is nice, but things have changed a little bit because now they have this tax system now where we're all obliged to pay it's 9.5%, which is not bad, but it's
Uh-huh.
not as tax prices used to be. So there are more restrictions now when it comes to businesses, and it's still a good place. Don't get me wrong. And the threshold when it comes to a tax is still good. It's 9.5. But when you're used to not paying taxes And often you have to do that. You're always like, wow, it's money that you gotta take care of. So now it's mandatory. You have to do that, but you can't get exemption up to $800,000. But you have to file and this and that. So it's not as friendly as it used to be. And I mean, I saw it coming because what was the main idea? To build a sustainable city and then attract all the investors and people with money and slowly introduce the tax scheme. The first thing they
Okay.
did was the sales tax. Dubai didn't have any tax, no sales tax, no income. I mean, income tax. There's still no income tax. So they first started with the sales tax. Then they roll over to now you have corporate tax, which is 9.5%. But there's still no income taxes, which is make it still appealing. If you work in Dubai, you don't pay any money, and you don't get tax on your income. But as U.S. citizens are exempted because the U.S. has a universal tax law. So wherever you are as U.S. citizen, you have to declare your worldwide income. But you exempt for the first $110,000. So if you make $150,000, the first 110 is exempt. You pay tax on the $40,000. So which is still not bad. You know what I mean? So yeah. So Dubai is still when it comes to tax, it's still good. It's still good. Yeah, it's still a good place to when it comes to that. So yeah.
Okay. Now, one last question before I gotta get out of here.
Sure.
Like, let's just say if money wasn't a factor, let's just say you you won the lottery and you had something like $400 million in net worth. What let's your top three places you will live in the world.
Wow. Where money is not an object.
Like just say you won $400 million lottery. You pick the best city, the top three cities you will live in, just for in terms of just dating, lifestyle, uh, uh, just comfort, livability, women. It's the top three. You know, places.
Definitely, I will go with the UAE, Dubai first.
Okay.
Then I will choose Switzerland second because
Oh,
Dubai during winter.
okay.
In summertime, I will go to Switzerland because then it gets. And then the third one, that's the tough one. What would be the third one? Where I would have said Monaco, but Monaco is just too small because it's only 1 kilometer square, so I'll get bored. Uh, it is somewhere in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
It, it could
Man.
be a place like maybe Mykonos or Ibiza or the south of France, like Cap Martin, because with that kind of money, you have access to the best of the best. So you can fly anybody over, but there, because you want to be a place where you feel safe. So if 400 million, you have to be in a place where you have a big flux of affluent people. So I will go with a place like will be UAE, Switzerland, and somewhere in the south. But then I'm like to be to places Switzerland is close to France. So I think I'm going to have to find a different continent somewhere in Asia. Let's say where would I be in Asia? Maybe somewhere in. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. The third place is a tough one. When I think
Yeah.
about it. You know what? Most likely, I will do either Casa de Campo or Punta
Mm.
Cana in the DR when you think about it.
Okay. So my list, I think I would do. If I'm being honest, man, it's tough. But I would start off with Miami. You know why I would do Miami? It's like lifestyle over there. Most beautiful women.
Yeah.
Have you've got that by that? Miami. Oh. And it's like the best place if you want to go to South America. Short trip if you want to go to DR, 2 hours. Colombia, 2 hours. Bahamas, 1 hour. It's relatively closer to anywhere in South America. So I would have three strategic locations in the world. One in Miami,
Yeah.
one in Europe. Like for example, in Europe, I want either London. I will make London for Europe the base.
Okay. Okay.
Then
Okay. Okay.
London, I will make the base. Then, since I'm not into Asia like that,
That's the thing.
I would have one in Dubai, so I can take those Africa trips.
It,
So let's
it,
just say, so you see what I'm saying? So it's
it
like
makes
it's
lots of
quick.
sense. Dubai,
Yep,
London, and then yep,
and
yep,
Miami and Miami, because
and
like you
Miami.
see what I'm saying. So
When I think about it,
the reason why I said that is like those three is because it's strategic. Like if you want to go to Miami, I mean, if you want to go to Brazil and you constantly, let's just say you want to go to Brazil, you want to check out Colombia, you want to go to Chile, you make it Miami your home base,
that is
and it's
true.
like
I didn't
you
think about that
constantly
because
traveling. Then let's just say London, you have another base in London during the summertime. When it's the summertime, it's actually the rainy season in most of South America.
that is right. Yeah.
It's actually rainy season and a winter season most of South America. So you like, you know what? I'll take a break from that. Let me go summertime in London. You make London your home base, and you can travel around Europe for cheap prices. Then for Dubai, now for Dubai, you're thinking if you want to do Asia or if you want to do Africa, if you want to do other parts, you can easily do that over there. So you see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
definitely a good hub.
You know, you know, and if I want to change the list, I can also exchange it, Dubai with Los Angeles, and if I want to go to Asia, I can focus on that part. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when I think about it, you made a good point. Because Miami, leave it like in a Bikis Island, you can have.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
I
That's what I'm
can't think
saying. It's
about
like
that one. Definitely.
that's what I was saying. It's like I could if I won, I could like I said, it's Dubai, London, and Miami.
It's a good show because I mean people don't realize it. The US with money, sure,
The
is one of
US
the
with money is like, bro,
bro, it's
I
paradise, bro.
bro, let me tell you this. I was out in Miami. I've been there a couple of times, right? And I was in the best area, right? I'm telling you, brother, them people are living good. When I say they living good, they are living good. It's if money wasn't a factor, bro, the weather over there, first of all, it has it. It has the weather, it has the freedoms of America, and you'll see like Lamborghinis, everything you want over there, and at the same time, the beauties all around. If I don't know if you've been to Miami, but
Yeah,
Mi-
yeah, multiple times, yeah.
Miami is like the it's like the Latin America of in America.
That
It's
is
that
true.
city.
That
It's
is so
like
true.
you see like girls from Chile, people from Cuba. So if I won the lottery, I'll probably like I said, it's like I'll probably have a base in Miami, a base in not Los Angeles, but London, then a base in uh the reason why I will have base in London because London is diverse. London is a key area. London is close to Paris, close to Switzerland, close to Germany. You can fly there, and it's like you see what I'm saying. It's like London is like where all the it's like if you were $400 million, it's you're pretty much set in those three places.
Oh
Dubai.
yeah, bro. With that, bro, with that kind of money. Because here's the thing: sometimes we choose places because when it's an object, we're looking for cheap places where our money, lasts long. But
Hmm.
if money is not an object, then it's all about choices. Then you can live in the most expensive part. Then you look at safety, looking at comfort, you look at lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So
you can have your yacht there in Miami. That you can cruise the no, bro. You can because I know a guy who actually travel from the they do a Miami DR by yacht. They can do those things. So there's nothing like it. I mean, you're right. I mean, you can actually yeah, yep.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. It's like then it's like it's and strictly this is how the rich move. They
Oh
really
yeah,
do
oh
this.
yeah, oh yeah, oh
People
yeah.
people don't realize that you don't hear about it, but they usually have these home bases all around the world. Just for it's you know I was thinking about a base in, like, for example, for if you like Asia, then a base in Singapore would be nice.
Yeah,
You
I've
know,
been, of course, I have a
Singapore
son of friends in Singapore, which is
is it like the Dubai of Asia? Is it like a more of a Dubai of Asia, or how is it over there?
Singapore is nice. Singapore reminds me of it's a mix of everything because I mean it's very humid for a fact. It's small, I believe 712 kilometers square. I did the whole Singapore from Marina Bay Sands to just it's very efficient, very nice. And like I said, it's very expensive, but guess what? When money is not an object, yes, Singapore will be actually. And the place I really like was Hong Kong.
Oh,
But
you like Hong Kong the most?
bro, Hong Kong, but now with the thing with China, I don't know because I don't know how this thing gonna go. But but Hong Kong, bro, it feels just like being in New York. You have that vibe. It's very international. It's nice, but I will still choose Singapore because Singapore it's more organized, very safe, of course, very expensive, and a very good lifestyle. So Singapore is not bad. As a matter of fact, what do I like to be like Singapore because Singapore is one of the when passport ranking. They're one of the strongest passport in the whole world.
Yes.
So before I went to Dubai, I was in Singapore. I was like, wow, I should have stayed in Singapore because now I would have been a Singapore citizen. While Dubai, the best thing you get is a golden visa, which I have a 10-year visa. That's it, you know. But there's no access to citizenship. And Dubai, when you don't have access to citizenship, I mean, God forbid, something go wrong, you might still be subject to deportation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can never be a citizen. So Dubai, you have that feeling that you never belong. So it's always feel like a transitory spot. That's the thing. So that's the thing. That's one of the things. But of course, with that kind of money, with $400 million, everybody will be interested, in having in the country. So the EU wouldn't be a real problem. So yeah, but. Business wise, I mean, you 400 million, you can actually multiply. But Singapore, I said, is nice.
How's
But
the women looking like in Singapore? They
that's
look.
the thing, though. You have lots of Malaysian, lots of Indian, and then you have the Singaporean, which has some of them have the Asian Chinese look. So to me, I wasn't impressed when it comes to that. You know,
Okay, you see, and it's like Asia is like because I went to Asia, I went to Japan, and I wasn't impressed. I was like, man, it's like some guys love Asian women, and it's like I just wasn't impressed. I was like, it's because I'm coming from Latin America. I'm like, when you use Latin America, it spoils you.
but
It's
listen,
like
I
it's
agree with
it's
you.
it's
It
like
spoils you.
it spoils you. It's like the treatment, everything, the looks, and you come to Asia and you're like, what the heck is going on?
Like for instance, I've seen those Thai chick. I'm not
Yeah.
impressed by them. I mean, honestly, I looked at them like to me, when it comes to Asia, I think the Filipinas will be on my top list because I've met a few who have that Spanish mix with Asia. They look nice. You can find a few dime pieces. But Thai, what I've seen so far, I don't know. I wasn't impressed by that. So it's not the people like, yeah, I gotta go to Thailand. I mean, if I go there just to visit because I've heard so much about it, but it's not the place where I'm like compelled to go because they have something to really offer. That's the thing about yeah. Like I say,
Mhm.
to me, I like that Latin American look. To me, that's the look
Yes.
I lean toward the most.
Mhm.
I just love that look. To me, just so appealing. Yeah.
It's like only a guy who been to Latin America and also Asia would experience that. And it's like some people they just like Thailand because of the safety. They're like they're like the GFE experience of the Thailand women because them Thailand women they come home with you. It's like they're literally gonna spend the whole week. If you don't even have to, they spend the whole week with you.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
it's like the GFE experience is crazy out there. And sometimes that's why guys, even who've been to Brazil and Thailand and Colombia and Latin America, they'll say Thailand is number one. Is because they say the reason why they say Thailand is number one is because the treatment, not the looks, but
The
the
treatment,
treatment
because
of the women, the
once you
treatment
get
of
a
the
VIP
women, because
treatment,
the women is like the GFE experience. I said it's like is the GFE experience like a it's like a 10 out of 10 over there. I heard it's like they're gonna stay there 3 days, 2 days. Like sometimes you might. There's been cases where guys had to kick them out because like okay, yo, you gotta get out.
yeah,
You
because
know.
it would come and just settle.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like the GFE experience is out of the world in Southeast Asia and also in Philippines.
Okay,
But
so that's why, because I've dated
yes,
a girl from the Philippines, but that was in the UAE, and it was
yeah,
a quite. You're right. It was a quite a good experience. And then
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely,
So when guys say they like Thailand, they actually like the experience they're getting. The
uh,
experience is
they
like
in love with experience. It's not really
yes, they like the
okay.
experience. They like the food. They like the safetyness. Thailand is like you can walk in the middle of the night still feel safe. You can't do that in Latin America. You can't do that, especially in Colombia.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely, definitely.
nah, you
Even
can't do that.
even the
Maybe
DR,
also even in the DR, you can't walk in the middle of the night.
you have to be careful. You have to be careful because it's no, you can't just walk around and that's what I like. For instance, when in the UAE, I can go to the ATM machine at any time of the day. Nothing will happen to me. You safe. So that's yeah. So if Thailand is like this, then it's a big, big plus. It's huge because safety is important.
Hmm.
But better yet, I guess if you have $400 million, then Thailand won't be a place where you would go because you're like, well, if you need, yeah, then because being honest with you, I mean, your taste changes with money because now you have access to tier one women.
Yes, that's what I said. It's like which cities you would pick if money was a factor.
Exactly, because then if you
Now,
like
now,
today,
yeah, and that's why it's like, and I've seen the top tier women in Miami. I was like, cause like I said, it's like Miami. I was like, okay, you get it over there. And now it's like you get the best. Like I said, my list is like you get the best out of the best Miami, then you get the best out of the best London. London, UK is diverse. Then you also get the best out of the best Dubai. You
yep,
see what I'm saying?
yeah, you get,
Because we got to keep it real in this space. The most beautiful women in this world are with the guys with the most access of wealth. It's like it's we got to keep it like cause like there was a one lawyer I was dealing with in a couple of years ago. He's a guy in his 50s, and his girl was a 25 years old chick, baddie. I was like, holy shit! It's just that's always how it always been. It's like girls they love a man with resources. It was more of an evolutionary thing back in the caveman days. The man who had the most resources kept them, safe and all that. And it's like, and that's why I says like that list I have is like, I choose Miami, I choose Dubai, and London. Um,
yeah.
so strong and wise. We were talking about if money wasn't a factor. Let's just say you won the $400 million lottery Powerball ticket. and you immediately become 400, a guy that's worth $400 million overnight. Which top three cities in the world would you make your home base?
Zurich, Switzerland would be my first choice.
Okay.
Singapore would be my second choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Dubai would be my third choice.
Dubai. Okay. You got that. Okay. You see, there's that triangle. That triangle offense.
Oh yeah, you just asked me for the top three. Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Welcome
Hey,
to the
how are you,
panel.
strong and wise? Good.
Welcome to the panel. That's what I'm saying. It's like you got that whole triangle offense going on. If you know what I'm talking about, Phil Jackson's offense in the
Yeah,
Lakers.
I've actually lived in all three places, so I know what I want. So
Okay.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
if
actually,
you,
strong and wise is actually is in Dubai right now.
yeah, I'm sitting here in Dubai right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, have you tried Miami and Los
of
Angeles?
course, of course.
Okay.
I'm
So
from Chicago.
okay.
Yeah, I know my states. I've lived in just about every major state in the United States for population purposes. But it's not that I don't want to be in the states right now. It's just too much upheaval. I'd rather just be in some uh, location where it's smooth and nobody's on your back, no politics, just relax. Sometimes you can find that in other countries. I mean, United States is a great country, but there are some other great countries out there. And even though where I am now is a kingdom, it's also the kind of kingdom that doesn't bother its people at all. Um, so it's pretty good when you're a resident in Dubai and you take advantage of the hospital systems, the clubs, the restaurants, the uh, just the general knowledge of that you're safe. I mean, I think you've seen the commercials out there. I know Strictly has. We've been around the world so many times together; it's not even funny. But um, you can leave your wallet and your keys on your car, literally here, and come back in the morning after partying, and your wallet and your keys are still sitting on top of your car.
Yep, that's crazy. Yep,
So
indeed. And
there's go ahead, bro.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he's right. And we've tested it so many different ways. I mean, like in Singapore, uh, like everybody pretty much speaks English. Not everybody, but most everyone speaks English. So you get there and you're hanging out and you're doing your thing. There could be a chick literally drunk, passed out on the street, skirt up over her head, and no one will bother her. Not one person. Matter of
That is
fact, I'll stop and pick her up and take her home. Look in her wallet with her $5,000 in it. Get past that and look at her ID and take her home. Put her in her house with her money and her purse, and no one will bother her. It's just like that over there.
yeah, it is. And
Now,
what I like about Dubai over Singapore, it's the amount of activities that you can do.
yeah,
There's so many things to do. There's so many entertainment, and every day there's a new beach club, a new nightclub, a new restaurant. It's constantly changing, so you don't get bored. It's so dynamic. You know, that's something I love about the UAE. There's so many things to do, but you just don't get bored. You just don't. I mean, there are so many activities. It just it's crazy. It's wild, and and so safe. Like I said,
Yeah.
Singapore is nice, but after a while you kind of get bored because it's small. You're running out of things to do, but yet money's not an object. So you get bored, you travel.
Yeah. The only reason, one thing I kind of have problem with in Dubai is the climate, bro. I'm more of a outdoorsy person, so I like going hiking, going biking, running outside, running near the beach. Um, it's cool. I get it, Dubai, but it's not like I don't know if you've
Yeah,
been
you're
to
right.
Miami. If you've been to Miami, you see the beach and you see like these. Like it's walkable. It's beautiful. It's you see what I'm saying? It's like a rich man's paradise over there.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
You
You're
know.
right.
But then you got places like Monaco. But then Monaco, I feel like even if money was a factor, I would still wouldn't go over there. I would visit there. Don't get me wrong. Matter of fact, I'm actually thinking about visiting there right now. It's like just I was checking out if I want to go over there. It's because I can go over there. I'm not one of these crash out content creators where they need donation. I can go there with no.
Anytime you feel like,
Yeah,
yeah,
anytime I feel like, so
yeah.
I was thinking about Switzerland, but I wanna conclude my South America trip, man. It's I don't know what happens to the other brother, but I gotta bounce out. Salute, man. Thanks for having me on. Good conversation
Yeah, great.
as always.
Always a pleasure
Drop.
having you, talking to you. You know.
You're always dropping games, so I'll go ahead and catch you on the next one.
Next one, let's do that.
All right.
Have a great night and take good care of yourself. Regular the girl of the Bronx Borough President, how are you? You're a funny dude. Salute, Chris. Salute, salute. You say so Dubai might be too hot if you want to enjoy the outdoors. I agree with you. It just, but the best months in Dubai are actually starting September, let's October to February. It's nice, but then March start getting hot again. So in Dubai, they said that we have two stations, summer and hell. You know, that's um, that's the thing about Dubai. Yeah, but yeah, you get tired. You get tired. You get tired of being in there after a while. That's the thing, So enjoy what people do during summertime. They travel to colder places, such as I don't know. Lots of them they love to go to London. They go to Monaco a lot. They actually fly the car in. That's why when you're Monaco and London, you're gonna see lots of car with Dubai license plates, or I mean, or any Emirates, because they got it like that. So they like to fly their own car. Even Etihad Airways, which is Etihad, I believe it's the airline from Saudi Arabia. They actually fly the cars. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
Back. Sorry about
yep,
that.
yeah. No, we're talking about. Someone say that. Although that Dubai might be. Sometimes Dubai. No, that's not it. That Dubai might be too hot if you want to enjoy the outdoors, which is a fact. So what's the weather like right now?
This is the time of year when it's changing from the cool desert uh, night times and daytimes to hot summer. So we're like the spring, if you will, the short, very short spring. It hits about anywhere from 88 to about 100, averaging almost daily.
But
And then,
you get used to it after a while, right?
oh my God, yes, it's the most acclimatable place on the planet. It is. I mean, I walk out in 130-degree weather sometimes, and you don't even feel it
Yeah, because you
after
get
you've been here
you,
long
you
enough.
get. Yeah, I remember when we first got there, it was like, whoa. Remember?
We couldn't even breathe walking across the street. I remember we went to the train. Remember we went to the train walking? We said, let's take a walk. It was like
Whoa.
walking 10 miles. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy, crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But they have,
think I have.
they have they have so many new activities. I see they have. I'm like, yeah. So when I'm there, probably like because May most likely I'm gonna be able to see of all those new activity, or maybe it's April, maybe I don't know, April 14. Yeah, maybe this month. It depends
Well,
how.
there's a lot to see here. I mean, something goes up new every day here. And I mean, you remember where I live,
Yeah.
the area that had like really nice buildings, really nice place, but it was sparse. and now it's got the stadium. The police headquarters for the country is not even a stone's throw away. Maybe in the around surrounding areas, to include where I'm at, probably 100 new high rises are up, and there's jam packed. They're widening the roads every day in just this area. So every two or 300 areas like this in Dubai is currently under that kind of construction and growth. So it's
Yeah,
pretty an awesome place to live, and it can accommodate just about any lifestyle. It doesn't matter.
yeah, I
But
agree. I agree. I mean, it depends on your budget. Because people are under the impression that in order to live in Dubai, you must be a billionaire or millionaire. I'm like, not necessarily. You
not
can
at all.
actually have the same income as the United States and live a perfectly
Normal
normal
and
life because
productive and eventful.
exactly because you have those different neighborhoods which are technically they're all nice.
There are no bad
So
neighborhoods here. You're
there's
right.
no bad neighborhood. So you just choose which one is comfortable to you. You can live, I don't know. Uh, some people choose internal cities. Some people choose to go to I don't know internet city. Some people choose to go to what's that?
The
I
new
mean,
technical city, they
yeah,
got
you can go to you want
festival city,
downtown.
they
You want
got
to live, So
the
it depends on the
marina.
budget and the fixed period. Yeah, you gotta be. I said Dubai. I said no. It's more expensive than
Pretty much everywhere
average.
else.
Yeah, anywhere. But I found that food in Dubai is actually very affordable.
And quality food. Quality.
Exactly, and the variety.
Yes. And
You
you can
don't
get
have to go
potatoes from Egypt or potatoes from Argentina, you know.
exactly. And
Yeah.
also, you don't have to go to those. Like in the US, you have to go to like Whole Food to get those organic food and those novelty boutique type of
Yeah.
store. While in Dubai, you just go to regular Carrefour, you get what you need.
Everything you need. And whenever I buy meat, I laugh because I talk to people in the States and they show me their steak because they're on a grill talking, say, yeah, that's a $25 steak. That's a $40 steak. And I'm looking at it, and then I think I go get the entire
Slab
loin of a
point.
slab of steak and cut it into 10 of those that you're showing me for $40. For
Do you?
$40.
And that's something I miss, bro, because that's what I like about when I used to be in Latin America, as when I used to be in Chile and Argentina.
Yeah.
You get the good bit, but while in the DR, for instance, you get just the little.
Strip.
That is not good. It's not as fresh. If you want good, so people don't realize that you spoiled when you live in Dubai.
Bro. Or you get Argentinian meat. You can get New Zealand meat, you get Australian, you get whatever Brazilian, you get whatever meat cut you like. In the top, if you ask me, and I've had them all here, I think the very top meat here is not like Nusret or something like that, although it's on that level. In a grocery store, you can get New Zealand or Australian. Brother, it's like eating butter. I mean, it cuts like butter. And while
That's what.
somebody else is, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
While somebody else is spending $50 or $40 for a steak, I got 10 more in the freezer for that same $40. And
Exactly.
it's awesome here in that regard.
And
Food is
also,
excellent.
if you love lamb, you have access to lamb. If you love it,
Oh,
just name it. I mean, just it's just there. And you know what I used to? I remember one time. They have. There's a big Indian community, as
oh
you
yeah,
know, of course. And I like to go to the Indian aisle because they have such a variety of rice. They have a huge variety.
bro.
Remember, I tried black rice. I tried red rice. Things that and the lentil when they have lots of grains, lots of beans. I used to try every single one to kind of get the feel of things. I was like, wow,
Look at me now. I am
I know.
cut. I'm cut. I lost since I've been here. Since I've lived in Dubai, and I used to have muscles and a big neck and all that and gut. I lost 90 pounds. I'm at 100 and about 188 to 190 pounds now. I was 270 when I got here. Am I joking, bro?
I know.
I was 270, and now I'm at a 190, right in there. I
And
fluctuate
eating
two
and
up
eating
and two back.
well, if you think about it, because
I eat
you don't need
everything I want.
you don't need no fast food. Like for someone to
None.
take me to fast food, because I like no. I mean, I but that's what I miss about and the quantity of fruits and vegetables. They're all fresh. They look good. They're like
I
and
had an Egyptian mango last night, bro. An Egyptian mango.
oh
It's about
really? Never
this,
tried. I tried the Australian one. Never
bro.
tried
They're like the ones. But one of the things I love about, like, the Caribbean, is the mangoes are amazing. They are truly a whole nother world. But the Egyptian mango I had last night, and I had some mango from another place. I'm trying to think where it was from. Is Egypt?
Pakistan.
Pakistani makes some excellent. You're right. They do make excellent mango. Terrible meat. Sorry,
Oh no, the meat
Pakistani
is
meat is
awful. That meat is bad.
tough meat. But there's an element of people here who eat that meat and know how to tenderize it and that kind of thing.
No,
But
I don't have time for that. I like to get my meat. It's just put on the grill and eat it.
bro,
No, I don't need
bro,
to. I don't
yeah.
want.
But
If I have to
yeah,
tenderize my
Pakistani
meat,
makes some good fruit. Say again.
if I have to tenderize my meat, I don't want it.
Okay, I'm like that too, because I gotta boom, boom, and put all that. And I cook, and you know how to cook. I've
Yeah,
watched you cook, bro, in your house. I know how to cook, so it's okay. And that's one of the things, if guys want to live in different parts of the world, learn to cook. Learn to cook and clean and take after yourself. And that way you end up being with the woman you want to be with instead of one you have to be with.
that is you. That's yeah. And
Oh yeah.
because you don't really follow the travel space, but because you into some of the things me, out of boredom,
Hmm.
I've watched different type of people. You'd be surprised. Like right now there is they love to go to. Have you ever been to Sosua?
Of course.
Yeah, and
Oh
Sosua
yeah.
is pretty much the big pro town, and they love to go there because it's accessible. But me, I was like, the funny thing is, when you live in the DR, I said we never had to pay for anything because we're getting there for free. And I
Exactly.
see I see those guys. I'm like, they're paying and they think they look good when in reality they don't. So I'm like,
I know.
yeah. So now the other spot is also Medellin in Colombia, where they go for
Colombia.
I would say sex tourism. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
to me, when I read it, I was like, are those people serious? I'm like, I
Yes,
never had to
international
do it because
prostitution.
yeah, it's not needed. Because I mean, so I'm just sometimes just wonder. I'm like, really? Because ever I've been from the United States to Canada to Dubai to Turkey to Spain to Belgium, Switzerland,
Hmm.
never had any. I always tell people, we ended up in the DR. It was
Oh
out
yeah.
of. It was from Switzerland because you spoke Spanish. Remember when we used to be at
That's right. I spoke Spanish. You were speaking French, and we were in Zurich.
Zurich?
And
Yeah,
that's what Zurich is one of my favorite spots.
yeah,
It's
it is.
alive. Zurich
Yeah,
is alive. Yeah. But yeah, I remember that. And we were invited to, what was that place called? Neuenhof.
Neunhof. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, there in Zurich. And we went in there. And I remember when we walked in, because being two brothers in Switzerland, back then it was like an anomaly. And then
I
you would see black
know.
people and brown
No,
people every now and then. It was really an anomaly. Nobody was there. And then all of a sudden we were invited to a spot. And when we got there, it was like an enclave of awesomely fine women. And we walked in, when we walked into this club. What was the name of that club?
it was
Something
Asito.
could have been Acito, but in Neuenhof, the one that was in Neuenhof. Was that
We
Acito or was
we
that
have the
downtown Zurich?
Corazon and Asito. I can't remember which one it was.
Neither can I, but I can guarantee when we walked in there, it was like the ratio was like 80% women and 20% men.
I know.
That's the first thing. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then the next thing was that the women were so beautiful. I mean, just stunning chicks. We're like all colors and sizes and shapes. I was like, wow. And they looked at us like we were like lunch or something. Like, okay, a breath of fresh air even. And we started to party with them. And you were speaking French, and then there was one of them who spoke French.
Yeah, that
She
was
spoke a little bit of
Maria, right? She
French.
spoke first, Maria. Yeah,
Maria, that's right. She fine girl. God, she was amazing.
I know.
Maria was fine. She hooked onto you like, oh my God, what was it like? A magnet.
I
And
know.
matter of fact, y'all went on a dance floor
Yep.
and they were taking your clothes off on
Yep.
the
It
dance floor.
was Maria and
Heard
the
that.
other. It was the other guy's girlfriend. What was
Wife.
it? Julia.
Ulia. Right.
Julia.
Ulia. That's right. Because I ended up hooking up with Ulia. That's right. Okay.
No, no.
Wasn't her name?
End up with Jendi.
Right. I can't remember these chicks. Okay. Back then, right. I hooked up with the other one. You're right. She was from Santiago, if I remember, from the
Yep.
DR. And what we found out was that was a Dominican enclave there in Switzerland, just a whole community of Dominicans, beautiful people, amazing, taking care of each other like a group of friends and family. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed those times there. And you had Cuban communities, you had all kinds of different Latin community, Puerto Ricans and everything else, all throughout Zurich and the surrounding cantons. So yeah, that was a good experience. We must have, without I don't think I've ever paid. I'm sure I haven't paid for any sex, but you didn't even have to take them to dinner. They just wanted to party and hang out and be fun. It wasn't about all that. It wasn't sex tourism back then.
I
Uh,
know.
you
So
know,
to me, I never understood that part. I was like, okay, this was something new because I was like, okay, well, it was something well, I never really had to because so some people think that yeah, this guy's copy, this guy just takes sex. No, it was just true.
I
I mean,
know. I know.
remember in Istanbul, the way I met
Oh
Irma.
my God.
Remember Irma?
Ir- Irma, oh, what a jewel.
You know,
You know
just
what?
in the Grecian line.
Turkey got some beautiful women, but she, even though she wasn't from Turkey, she looked like she could be from Turkey, and she was probably one of the finest women in the country, I think. Uh, very poised, beautiful woman, just the kind of girl you just want to meet. That kind of chick. I remember she was just an amazingly beautiful woman and loved your ass. She really did. She
I
loved you.
know.
I know.
I talked to
But
her actually. We're still in contact.
really,
Yeah, yeah. I talked to her the other day, and
okay,
of
how is
course
she doing?
she's doing great. Of course, she got. Let me see if I can find a picture of her because she got. She's older now, of course.
Of course, of course. That was some
Time
years
flying.
back.
Let me see if I can say.
I liked Irma. Irma was like, that was my girl. I was like, that's just a cool chick. She wasn't needy. You know what I mean? She wasn't a needy chick.
I know. Yeah, let me send that to you. So yeah, so
Did you put it in WhatsApp? Where'd you
yeah, I
put it?
want to send you WhatsApp right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see Irma. Oh my God.
Yeah. So the other day she was like, okay, she's
She's a
still,
beautiful girl, man. She's beautiful. Oh my God. She's a gorgeous chick still. Well, of course. How would she not be? She had the right
exactly.
kind of, she had the right genes. Just put it that way. She was a beautiful girl. I used to be pissed off at you. 'Cause I was trying to go after her first, but you got her, of course. So I'm gonna leave it alone. No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
but let me show
No,
you.
that is what happened. We were at the visa place or the where we getting our visas or
Immigration
something.
place. Yeah. Look at
Oh
this one I
my
sent you.
God. Oh my God. Yep, she was gorgeous. She was a gorgeous girl.
Yeah, and that's pretty much. And then and
Is she sitting on my lap or my arm or what is she sitting on?
no, she was
Oh,
sitting on your
the
lap.
chair.
Remember?
Oh yeah, she's from something I have no idea. But she is so beautiful. Good Lord. Well, I must have been really drunk that night. I must have been out of it. Not to remember this. I must have been out of it. But she's oh my God. And had a great personality. If I remember, she was like Croatian or Russian or something like that.
She was Russian, but
Okay,
from a
yeah.
place called Ossetia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Beautiful.
No, she's still in Turkey. But the last time I talked to her, she was telling me that they have those thermal right now in Turkey where only the only member of the opposition that could actually win over Erdogan was a mayor, was put in prison under allegation of corruption and so forth. So so the
No
Turkish
competition.
was actually marching. They had each with the internet. I'm like, wow.
Well, that's how things are in that part of the world,
Yeah,
bro.
because I tried to get on the live. She can talk about Turkey. She's like, no, it's not a good time. Not a good time,
Not at all. Not if you want to be unalived or disappeared.
Exactly. So, I mean, and the last time
Yeah.
I was in Turkey, because I had a whole number, so I was trying to get a hold of her, and I couldn't. And I left, and I finally, I don't know if I got a hold of her. I don't know if it was through her Instagram, but if I can remember, then she
Mm.
gave me a new number. Then once in a while, we have a few exchange, and yeah, she's doing okay. No
Did she get
kids.
married or something?
No kids, not married.
That girl is a gem. What the heck? How is that possible?
I don't know.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody's lost. That's everyone's loss.
Yep.
Or can you say? So, how are the women in the DR these days?
Well, it's pretty much. It pretty much, I would say, the same. Now you have more plastic surgery. Uh, they're more plastic now, but you still can find a good, like the one I'm dating right now. Like she's like I said, I'm not going
She's beautiful.
I'm not going any after needy chick. She gotta have her things together. She has to have her intellect together. She has to have where she doesn't need me, where I'm just added value instead of
Exactly.
must be, because otherwise it's a waste of time. So I'm like, if you ain't got your shit together, I'm just not interested. So I go,
I
no,
agree.
I look for the look. She has to be my requirement. Intellect, of course, no kids. So I don't want to deal with no baby father. And
Nope.
and no, so those things, you made that, and then we can talk. Otherwise, if you don't meet those requirements,
I
I
agree. I agree. If you can't generate revenue and
no,
be a
because
part of the solution, I got no use for you.
I'm like, what's the purpose?
Yeah. A lot of people settle because they think that somebody else is going to have her, so they got mad to keep her for all the wrong reasons
Yeah,
instead of just getting rid of her and finding someone who actually, or letting that person find you.
and
I think
that's
that.
something interesting. I
Mhm.
remember when you first got divorced, you used to tell me, listen, I'm not interested in lots of things, like, because I was like, that guy's crazy. But guess what? When I got divorced, I found myself in the same position. Where I'm like, you know
Did you?
what? Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, bro, I wasn't interested in anybody because I already by myself, because it has to be someone of value, otherwise, And then
It was like
out of
being
the
in
woodwork,
prison.
I had I had get together at my place. She was invited, and then I asked her a few questions, and we clicked. And then so it's been like 2 months, and so far so good.
I can dig it. Well, I'm gonna
And
tell you,
then
bro.
she met she met my children, and they get along well. And then but then this weekend I had an interesting event where the mom came to see the kids. And over the weekend, kids always have like a big party, and and then it looked like she has a change of heart, right? But
That does happen.
I'm like, unfortunately, it's too late, because when I needed you, you weren't there, and I've moved on. Something I don't do is just going back, because here's the thing: she knows I'm involved in 2 years stable relationship. And then I'm like, I said, okay, well, I don't know. She said, well, it's too early. It hasn't been a year. I said, hold on, what do you think? There's no timeline when it comes to that because I wasn't looking, and this is just fear. And unfortunately, she meets all the requirements I'm looking for. And guess what? There's no turning back.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
Think about it. You've been for the past 25 years plus that you've known me. You've seen the quantity of women I went through while being married. So obviously she has some type of resentment, some type of, I created this thing. So to fix those things is virtually impossible. And it's always gonna be a reminder because in her case, it's more comfort, it's more
Complacency.
Because just like I said, well, because then, but it wasn't really that. So to me, I'm like, do I want to deal with that again? Unfortunately, I just can't.
Complacency becomes mediocre.
Yeah, because, and also the amount of stress that I've had when she was around was overwhelming. I was like, wow. I was like, I was so irritable, so like, the air
uncomfortable.
was big and uncomfortable. I'm like, I just can't. As much as I feel like she actually close to the games, I'm like, as much as but it's just not doable anymore, And I gave some thought, and I never thought that I would be in that position where I'm like playing here and there, it gets old after a while. Because I had all colors, all race, the whole continent.
Bro, I used to wonder who you were going to show up with next.
Exactly. So when I said, I'm like, I said,
same here, But what people don't understand about that, bro, and you, is that you are pretty much a free spirit. And anything that changed you to any location that I've known you for since, the early 2000s, well, at least 2000. And when something changed you somewhere, you got to get out of there. And you find a way to break away.
Exactly.
And it wouldn't suit you that. I mean, you know what it's like now to be divorced. When I first got divorced, I didn't want to touch anybody. I didn't want to be bothered because it's like I've been in prison. I did what you did. I just started concentrating on my children.
Yeah.
And left everything else alone. And but yeah, she wanted to get back too. She won't admit it, but she came by the house a couple times. I had to put her out.
Yeah, because they don't read that. Because here's the thing. It's been almost 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you've been. I don't know what you've tried. And it didn't work. Now I'm the only secure option. I'm just going to put myself into that. It doesn't matter what people are telling me. Oh, yeah, I wasn't doing anything. That's what you will tell because you won't tell me anything because it's you. So to me, I'm like, when she decided to leave, I'm like, are you sure you want to? Because once you do, there is no coming back. Because I never broke up with anybody and came back. I just move on.
I don't do that either.
It's easy for me to close chapter and move on because, that link, that connection has been lost. So I don't see how I can actually continue. And really, I analyzed, I looked, I'm like, I just can't. It's unfortunate, but I'm like, it's exactly what I feel, and for one of the
when a person abandons a relationship, say again.
For one of the rare time in my life, I had a frank conversation with her. I was being very frank. I said, well, this is the situation. This is this and that. And there is not, I'd rather you to know, even though as hurtful as it might seem like, but it is the truth. I don't want to tell you what you want to hear.
Accommodate you.
So you know exactly where I stand. Nor I will lead you on and to make sure, because then I'm gonna make yourself. I'm gonna make you miserable because I had a, I was stressful, anxiety attack, and this and that. So she thought, and then, but we didn't have any real problem. Instead of being there, she decided to take a break. I'm like, okay. So then you want to come back after? I'm like, I said, something doesn't add. It doesn't make any sense to me. To me, to return to the environment, that hostile environment. So then I was like, no, I need to start something fresh and new with some new basis.
Without any wild expectations and
Exactly.
craziness.
And then because
Yeah.
we need to understand that there is a past that wasn't the best, of course, like in any marriage, it was ups and downs. And then sometimes what women seem to forget is that once you reach a certain age, your options are scarce. While us men, we still got options.
If you had seen me at breakfast this morning, bro, there, I'm losing you. If you'd have seen me, if you had seen who was at breakfast this morning, you would have lost your. There's so many options out there.
That's what I'm telling you. So we got options. So
So
unfortunately,
many.
and that's something they don't realize. And then, they will take some like, what do you think? I'm going to be there just waiting or crying. Oh, I said, no, 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 no. Luckily, I bounced back rather quick. You know me. It's like boom, boom,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
first, chapter closed, next, life go on, I cannot be there feeling miserable for saying this and that because obviously, after 20 years, you get used to the person, you have some type of, you're complacent because it's your habitual environment,
Yeah,
and then
those
you feel like,
expectatives have been met.
exactly, you feel like, okay, that's, even though it was so unhealthy, but you're so used to that unhealthiness that it becomes a part of your life, and
It's
you think
normal.
that that's
You
normal.
normalize it. You
You normalize
normalize
it.
it.
Then once you're
Yeah.
out of it, like, what was I doing? You realize that because at one point, literally, I slept on the couch. She slept in the bedroom. Intimacy was like finding an oasis in the desert. Was that type of, then it
Right.
became mechanical. It became even a job.
Routine.
I'm like, like I said, hold on. But it gets you think, and I wasn't being quiet. I wasn't doing anything. No messing around, just there. But, and then after that, when this thing happened, and it's kind of like, it was like a wake up call. I just woke up like, I feel like, man. So for all these years, I was in prison because I've realized that even though when I was messing around, playing around, I always had that your subconscious was telling you, okay, well, there's something wrong that you're doing, but even though we try to ignore it, we
But
try to, but now I'm like, damn, I felt so free. I was like, wow, I don't have to worry about this thing anymore. If I want to come home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4, 5, the little boys talking, I don't have to worry about it because sometimes you're not even doing anything. But I'm like,
it's
you know what?
called freedom. It's called freedom.
Yep. And I'm like, wow. And when she, yeah, I'm going back, I said, no, 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 no. I just don't see that happening where, yeah. So I just don't see that happening where I can actually be in
Well,
that.
women are in competition with men these days. And that's why I think there's an imbalance in relationships where oftentimes women are only thinking about themselves. And they're thinking that, I remember one chick in the DR told me something once, and I never forgot it. She said, I said, so what did you bring to the table? And she says, I'm sitting on it, meaning her vagina. And I said, well, you don't bring enough to the table because everybody's sitting on a vagina, in
Exactly.
this country, but women believe that that's all they need to bring to the table for the most part in
Yep.
this culture today. And what they're finding out is that 90% of the women out there, maybe 80% of the women out there, are looking for the top 10% of the guys. And there's just not enough guys to go around. So they're really ultra picky. They're intolerable. They lack understanding. They don't support their men. They don't respect them. They don't listen to them. And that whole hierarchy within family and relationship is gone. It's all about getting their Benjamins or getting their money out of whatever relationship there is, getting their bills paid, going to the salons and doing all those kinds of things instead of supporting their man and having decent conversations and watch them walk in at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, we've done in our past. We walk. Remember, I used to do in Atlanta. You and I get in 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Girl, get up and cook me some food.
Yeah.
She like, it's you hungry? Yeah, we just get in 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not sitting at my table. We having some more shots as we sat there, and she's making us some food. She wasn't like, I'm competing with you. I'm going out tomorrow and I'll show you. It wasn't that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's what it is nowadays. Just as a general thing, women think that they're sitting on their banks, they're sitting on their trust funds, they're sitting on their value, and they're quickly finding out. And a lot of women are alone, very professional women. I'm a strong black woman, I'm a strong white woman. Those kinds, they're mostly alone
Definitely.
because they're trying to compete with men instead of augment and support men as
Exactly.
nature intended, and it's not about, when I meet, I don't care if you saw the chick I just was talking to a few minutes ago, she's so beautiful and she knows it. And everybody's been telling us she was beautiful since she was 12. Okay. So when I don't say you're beautiful, when I don't say that, oh my God, look at you, and oh, come here, and I need to know you. And when I'm like, sure, 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 pass the sugar. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then she wondered, why doesn't he like me? Why doesn't this guy like me? It's not that I don't like you, but my criteria for women is much higher than you just being a pretty girl.
Exactly. Because that's what I've said. I'm like, people think that it's just of course, looks
Are
are
important,
very important.
but
But then what? Because
exactly.
think about it. When you first see a girl, the first thing like, damn, she's fine. And once you hit it,
We
you say, okay, now it's not as funny. Exactly like, okay, well, she's fine, but it's not the same level of anxiety that of attraction you had. Then you start looking at different factors. Okay,
That's true.
how
Very
compatible
true.
you are, conversation wise. Because listen, I've been in situation where after sex, you're like, okay, you don't have nothing to say. Just you go to like a quiet moment. You're like,
Or
okay.
quiet day.
And you're ready to say, well, now it's done, thanks, go ahead. I'm like, no. But, it should be to have like a conversation, like at least. And then I've realized that, you have to have some type of meaning because they think that, like you said, that the most important part, like you said, is the vagina. But, after a while, you're like, okay, well, that gets old.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
It
does.
gets
And the
old. It
only
gets
thing keeps
old.
it,
It gets
only
old.
thing keep it refreshing itself is a good conversation, is a thoughtful woman, is a person that got your back. It makes her more attractive. It makes her more open so you can provide more information and share more when it's a whole package and not just a piece of ass. I think that a lot of women cheapen themselves because they make it about, look, what do I get? Look, you get me. Well, you're not a prize. I don't want a prize in a woman. I want a woman. I want a real mature woman who's serious and fun, who's intelligent, who brings something to the table other than a piece of ass. And if you can be that, and if you think that just your mere physical presence will do that for me, then you have another thought coming. And most of the guys they look for in the world are guys normally who won't take their shit. A
Exactly.
woman will respect a man more when he doesn't take her shit. If she can walk over a guy and train him to kiss her ass, then he will always kiss her ass. He will always beckon to her call without her having anything in return other than some ass, a pretty face, and some complaints. This is what I hear and see all over the world. I just refuse to do it. You remember my ex, she's a beautiful woman, but
Oh yeah,
she
oh yeah.
complained 24 hours a fucking day, 24 hours a day about not when there was no problem, she made a problem. I was like, wow,
I
you know,
remember
yeah, bro.
not
You told
the
me not to do it. I did it anyway. I remember your advice with me was, don't do it, Mike. Don't do it. I said,
yeah.
nah, I know what I'm doing.
I
Biggest,
know.
I don't want to say it's the biggest mistake because I got three of the best children on the
No, I
planet.
mean I think it's part of it's part of life experience, and then like I said, inside it's always 2020, but it doesn't mean that So from the outside, we always look at things differently, and like
Yeah,
for instance, first of all, I've never contemplated divorce. It wasn't part of my. I didn't see it coming neither. And then something about if you told me that you're gonna do something, you better do it. And that's exactly
exactly.
what happened. If I say, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Okay. So I'm like, "Okay, well, if you're sure," I'm like, "Okay, well, that's good. Okay, let's just make it happen." And then and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Okay, well, it's late." And I'm like, I realized that it felt like I was on a vacation. I'm like, and now I'm like, me. I'm like, I said, well, I don't know. To me, the way I look at it, you've tried something else, or someone was promising something, and you realized the guy was a charlatan or a clown or a bozo. Then you're like, okay, well, my secure environment is still there. So let me try. I'm like, unfortunately, the I closed that door. I sealed it actually.
Yeah,
It's been sealed
it's
because
hermetically sealed.
yeah, by nature, I like to be in control of my relationship. That's a fact because if
Every
I don't
man
have
does.
control anymore, I feel I lost the control. And that the way I know everybody, the women love to talk. And so I know the whole world knew what occurred and this and that. I'm like, that's okay. And then probably some of them maybe knew that it was a prospect or somebody working. They looked like this guy came back. I'm like, I just don't see myself for pride, first of all, for respect for myself. I just won't do that. I'm sorry. I moved on. I literally moved on. And I'm like,
Bro,
no, 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 because I'm like, no, it's just not. And especially if you know that I have a girlfriend and you're willing to, like, I said, so you're like, okay, well, because to me, I feel like, well, I was doing the same thing. So what's the big deal? You leave, I'm like,
and
and
you're
I'm like,
inviting problems there. That's a booby trap.
bro, I said, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm moving on. I'm
I have
like,
a question for you though. I have a
sure.
question for you. And this is something that I don't think most men know. But in every time I say something to a woman profound, especially during a breakup or doing reconciling how we're going to treat each other kind of conversation, so people get on the same sheet of music. Whenever I'm in that mode, I always ask myself one question: with this woman, do I have to guess what she's going to do, or do I know what she's going to do and who she's going to be and how she's going to operate? You know, and if you find yourself guessing how your chick is going to be, you're in trouble.
Exactly.
The, and that's where that's my whole. The older you get, I think, the more, as you said, concrete you become about. Are you sure you want to make this decision? Because I asked my ex the same thing. Are you sure? I remember when my ex walked out the door, all like high and mighty, like I
All
have the best
sassy and all
ass
that.
in the world.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was at the divorce. I was at the divorce lawyer office. I divorced her. She didn't divorce me. I divorced her. The next morning, I was at my lawyer's office filing for divorce. And she could not believe it. She could not believe she disappeared for like 30 days. And when she got back, she was served with divorce papers and a court date. And that blew her away. And she tried to get back together and all kinds of stuff. And I just wasn't going to have it. So I decided I was never going to guess again. And I didn't before that. I just made a mistake with the wrong person, but the right outcomes because I wouldn't replace my children for anything in the world.
Yeah, yeah, neither way,
But
neither way.
do you ever find yourself guessing with who you dating now?
Like right now, I'm not guess I know exactly. I'm like,
That's the
okay,
difference.
it's different. And because I mean, here's the thing. Because I mean, like I said, and also, it was another factor. When I first met her, I didn't speak any Spanish 20 years
That's
ago.
right.
So instead of knowing her,
Ahora sí tú hablas español con fluidez.
exactamente,
Bastante bien. Exactly. Yeah,
exactamente.
of course you do.
So instead of trying to know her, I was trying to understand her, what she was saying.
Hmm.
By the time I knew who she was, of course, she was pregnant. I was still in the relationship. I was like, well, let me try to make it work. Then I was looking for, I was with this girl, that girl. You've seen all of them, all of us. That
Oh yeah.
I can remember. And then, do you remember Claudia?
Yes, the chick that used to come by. The fine. Okay, yeah, I remember her. I remember Claudia.
The one
Beautiful
that came
girl.
one time at the penthouse, and then
Yeah. I remember Claudia.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Beautiful.
So she reached out to me the other day, like
Ah,
yeah, and I called her by mistake, and then she called me back. Like I didn't pick up, she blocked me. And I'm
wow,
like,
really?
I said, hold on, are you still in my head? I'm like, I was like, yeah, are you in Dubai? I want to come and visit. I'm like, I said, hold on. First of all, not to be bad. I'm like, well, when I when we first met, you were that was 2008.
Yeah. She's a
She
young
was
girl.
she was young. And then I'm like, I said, hold on. Then those years later, bad habit sets in. Do I want to deal with that?
Bro.
Because I'm like, so this time I remember I was like, I'm in, I'm in your situation. We are 23 years apart.
Yeah,
She's 28. I'm 51, but smart,
mhm.
Jake. Well, and I'm like, hmm. And I used to tell my my ex, the only old person in the relationship is me. If you walk out the door, I am finding no 50, no 40-year-old. I'm just not doing it. I wanna, because now but if we're to stay together, I have to deal with you because, yeah. But if you go to the office and say, hey, I'm like, I said, hold on. And when she found out about it, was like, wow. And the shit. I said, what should I be? I said, hold on. I'm like, it is what it is. So the point is, like, we have options, no
Quite a
matter.
few.
Exactly. And bro, lots of options because, bro, like right now, if I wanted to, I can go out like 4, 5. But I'm just not interested because I know those are headaches.
Been there, done that.
And I don't want to waste my time anymore, It's too much.
Too much
Oh,
gaming.
salute, stay high. Salute, salute, salute. How are you? Yeah. It's too much work. It's just too much work. And I just don't want to deal with it. I just can't. I'm not interested. I'm not want to deal with extra luggages. I want to find a person that's smart, has the right intellect, fine, meet my requirement, but not.
She's an independent woman of the world, but dependent on her relationship. That's what
Yeah,
I look for. I want somebody dependent on a relationship to maintain that equilibrium and balance, but also be independent and do her own thing too. So you ain't got to be on top of me all the time, you know?
that's exactly. So it's more interesting. Like so, when I see you, when I meet, it's quality time. How was your day?
Yeah.
It's more conversation. But you have someone that's just home and just waiting for you to come. I mean, like our whole world revolves around you.
What do you do? And how did it go? And tell me all about this and do this and do that. Oh, hell, I hate that. I hate that. Sometimes I just want to sit and be quiet. Sometimes I just want to sit and be quiet. and then somebody, yeah, 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 yeah.
And
I'm
I never
sorry.
thought at point someone like, people say like because to have access because I guess lots of people don't have that easy. I mean, to me, I was like, meeting someone never be an issue. Never been an issue.
Never.
I've had problems. So so like sometimes because you have some of those partners, I mean, if you see that, you laugh, you be like, wow, are those guys serious? You be surprised, you be shocked. I mean, this travel space, it's weird. I'm telling you, and you be surprised that how many people they must pay in order to be I mean, to be served. I mean, to be. I'm like,
The same way
what?
here in Dubai. It's that way here in Dubai. It's not everywhere we've ever been. We've been all over the world like 100 times. But I'm gonna tell you, it's especially that way here in Dubai.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
here
yeah, yeah.
pretty much is transactional. One of the most transactional sexual places on the planet. But they haven't yet made it low class. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here in
Yeah, yeah,
Dubai,
yeah.
it is, yeah, it's a higher class situation. It is.
Do you remember when we first came there?
Yeah, I
Remember
do.
we got that girl's number, and after she asked where was the gift? We like,
Yeah. What
what
was her
gift?
gift? What gift? Yeah, what the hell you talking about gift?
And our boy
Dude,
was laughing about it, and he told us. Then we realized that it was transactional, because I remember when we
exactly.
first said that, where Roberto, all those girls were looking at us, so we thought we're like,
Oh my God.
you know, we're like, she looking at everybody. So I thought, like, damn, I'm the chosen
Yeah.
female. Then eventually,
Seth.
the thing that you remember when I met, but I never told
Oh
you.
yeah.
I never told you how I met Jasmine. Remember the Bosnian chick?
Yeah, the blonde chick. She was all right. I liked her too. I
Yeah,
just, she
but she,
had a little thing going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to how I met her. I'm at ladies' night in a place called Toro Toro.
I know where that is. I know exactly
She's
where.
walking around with a friend, and she stopped and looked at me. We started to talk. I offered a drink. We started to drink. And no, it was ladies' night. She didn't have to offer a drink. She was drinking. We started to talk. Then we danced, and at the end of the night, she said, "Well, let's go get a bite to eat." We went to a place called Zatar in Dubai Marina. We had some
Hmm.
Arabic food. And they said, I said, okay. They said, okay, let me drop. You say, well, let's drop my friend at her place. So, but she's telling me, I'm not going with you. Like, I'm not going to no problem. I never invited you. So I'm like, fine,
Exactly.
you're going, okay, cool, no problem. So I go ahead and drop her off. A friend gets in the car, and she stayed in the car. She said, I'm going with you.
That's how you met her.
That's what got
Oh,
started.
wow. Okay.
And then,
You're like, well, if you
exactly.
don't want them, I do. That's
But
right.
then I was like, okay. I said, maybe I'm expecting a bill at the end. You know what I mean? I wasn't sure, but I'm like, well, like she didn't mention anything about that. If she did, I want to play
Dumb.
stupid. Like I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I would never
And
pay for it.
no, it
Never.
happened. She went. Then later on we met again, and then eventually she moved in, and the rest. That's pretty much how it
Oh
was.
yeah. Bro, I remember. The only thing I didn't like about her, and she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. And serious too, I thought. But she just anytime a woman stands toe to toe with a man, I lose all respect.
Yeah, that's the problem. She was
I
competing. She was highly competitive.
always.
She was
Yeah.
competing with me. Remember, she
Yeah.
had to refute everything I was saying. At one point, it was like, "You're right." Yeah, 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 you're right. Because
Yeah.
whatever I said, it was always an issue.
There's a
And then,
counterpunch to there was never any coincidental thinking or coincidental understanding. There was always, I'm against you or I'm against what you're saying because my opinion as a woman is bigger than yours. And that's how it was. And every time I heard it, if you notice, what did I do? Wherever we were, whatever we were doing, I just get up and leave. I go somewhere else because I didn't want to say, what we just said right now. I didn't want to say there, why do you always step toe to toe to your man? That's a total opportunity to do better and support your man instead of disrespecting him, especially in front of another man. I'm telling you, if I'm out with a woman, bro, and she contradicts me in front of a crowd of other men and put me down, instead of supporting me, even if I'm wrong, I have to get rid of her that day. She's useless to me at that point.
Exactly. So it was a
Useless.
constant fight, and it reached a point where I just got tired of it. I'm like,
Yeah, bro.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing this anymore. It was just too much. It was just like, very, very
Yeah,
difficult
let me
to
put this
deal
up here.
with. And yeah. So, what time is it over there?
Well, it's about I'm gonna jump back in bed. You actually was waking me up because after breakfast I work out in the morning about 5 now. Then about it's 9 a.m. I work out about 5, and then I go to breakfast, then I come back in, I jump in bed. As soon as I got in bed, you called me. So I said, okay, let me get
Yeah,
up.
me too. I'm gonna leave because I need to have a call in a few with Singapore.
Let me
At,
know.
at
Just hit me
exactly
hit me a
at
message.
9 minutes. So I want to log off in 9 minutes and get on the call, and that will determine what's
Bro,
going to be the next
I'm gonna
move.
stay up for a little while. I'm gonna stay up for a little while, but here's the thing. I'll meet you in Singapore the minute you give me the word. I'll fly up there that day. I mean it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Because I
That's
got a
good.
meeting today and tomorrow too about what I'm going to do next on a couple issues. So I'd
Okay.
love to be in Singapore for a while.
Yeah. And then you'll be able to, yeah. And
All right, brother. It's always good seeing you. Good luck, and I'll talk to you soon. Let me
you
know
know,
what
you
you
know, I
do.
thought about something. The length of time you've been a resident in Dubai. If you're in Singapore, you're a Singapore citizen now.
I know. I know.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it's good.
maybe, because think about it. At the end, Singapore ended up being the place we should have stayed because Singapore made it happen. Dubai was
I had
just
everything
example,
there. We had everything in Singapore, bro. When we lived there, Singapore was
but
awesome.
luckily it's there. So once I know that, go back, stay on the
Yeah.
ship and just let it flow.
Yeah, bro. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm literally sitting here. So let me know.
Okay,
Send me a
perfect.
text. Then I'm gonna get some rest. But definitely, I'm ready to travel. I could be packed in a day and out, and then I'll come back to Dubai, and I'm gonna probably purchase a something here,
And
and keep my
we
residence here.
area.
Probably if somewhere past JL3 or JLT, the Jumeirah
Okay.
3. I love Jumeirah 3 right in that area. But also Marina I like. But they got a lot of out. They have the Olympic Village where they did, or not the Olympic Village, but the where they had their Expo Village here. Very
Yeah,
nice,
when they have an Expo
very
2020.
nice, brother. That is off the hook over there. But it's not as many people there, so it isn't as gamey as the rest of Dubai. But it will be one day if you get some over there now. But one of the spots that I love depends upon my financial capability in the future. But I remember you sent me a video. I think it's on one of your sites where you were in a house across from not Disney World, but what's that place called over there near the
Oh,
Palm?
Atlantis.
Brother, brother, that spot over in that area, that's the place to be.
Yeah,
You're
that's
secluded.
that's the Palm Jumeirah. That's at the end. It's
Yeah,
called 22 carats. It's close to the one and only
got it.
hotel. And bro, that area, but a good area also,
Was there?
Emirates Hill.
You sent me something on that. It is truly all villas, and the doors are
All
like the
villas,
size of a
Emirates now.
building.
And then the also know it's called Al Bahari.
Al
Look it up.
Bahari. I know.
It's
I
nice.
think you sent me
It's
some on
what
it.
I like about Al Bahari. It's green. It's green city. It doesn't feel like Dubai. Everything is green. They have like natural. Al Bahari is like. So to me, it's Emirates Hill, Al Bahari, and the Palm. Those three places. Those are places that really. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna when
You
I'm
can
done
just
with this.
chill there.
That's what I'm gonna look at and then be in that zone. Yeah.
It's getting too crowded where I am now. It's like this now. It wasn't like that. They built some tennis courts right out in front of my building, and beautiful, fantastic. But it's too commercial now. I
Oh,
want to
it's
get
too
out of there.
really.
Yeah, it's very commercial here.
Wow. So
Yeah,
CrossFit, now there is a tennis
all
court.
that land is filled with buildings now. Everything is full of buildings.
Bro, remember when you first moved there? That was the only.
Only building in the area. It was it. that they were finishing up where you ended up staying, and they were finishing up the train station. That was it.
That's
That
it.
was it. It was all sand. Everything was sand.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it's you can look in any direction as far as you can see and you got
It,
skyscrapers and high rises.
that's something about Dubai, though. I mean, if you stay a while without being there, things just change. I mean, it's not like it's so dynamic, so you don't know what to expect.
Yeah. You don't. You really don't. And it's beautiful though, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. They're doing a great job. It's just that, it was dry as toast before and remote. Now it's not as quiet. Because remember how quiet it was over here? Just
Yeah.
quiet. Not that anymore. You will hear music and your Ferraris going up and down the street, screeching and 24/7. You don't hear any
Wow.
police sirens or ambulances or anything anymore. You don't hear them. That's
Okay.
that's still a Dubai thing where you just hardly ever hear sirens.
That's true.
Yeah, if ever. I think the only sirens you'll ever hear are ambulances that are trying to get through traffic. Other than that, police don't roll like that here. They just don't do it. So
Yeah.
you don't get that kind of noise pollution. But now you hear people, how it was like in Turkey, you got a stroller with a 2-year old, a 7-year old walking next to the stroller, a dad, a mom, and a teenage girl, and they're all walking down the street at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking
I
at the
know.
windows.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, what the? It's like that here now. People just
Wow.
in this area, just people all the time, everywhere.
Really?
You hear noise 24/7. It's not as much like Turkey, but it's getting there. Like in Istanbul, it's getting there. It's,
It's
whew,
amazing how you've seen how Dubai has evolved for the past
yeah, it
what
has.
pace for the past 8 years is crazy. It's
I
just
know.
crazy.
I love it here though. I ain't lie to you. With the right setup here, you can be happy. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely,
But the
definitely.
right setup anywhere, you can be happy, but especially
Yeah,
in Dubai.
some places you came in there for a short time. Well, Dubai can really have you can actually project yourself. Elsewhere, we just like for instance, the DR. You can
Hmm.
put a can, you can Casa de Campo. I
Hmm.
used to look at those things like wow, but now I looked at them like I feel like it's nice for the country, but it's not polished. You look at some details are missing. The place is nice according to those standards, but once you see the
Hmm.
Dubai standard, you're like, nah,
Nothing compares.
it's
Nothing.
not. It's like it's not like for instance. I mean, you see get paradise, you see an issue in most of this country. Like it's just hold on, those things where you have to do this, but there's like even a bad building
I know.
looks bad there compared to other bad building. It's still an upper scale
Building. It is.
building
It's
in the
still
first world
upscale.
war, like wow. So the standards are just amazing. You just get spoiled. People tell me what
You
I say,
do.
well, the weather could be, but nowadays I'm not really an outdoor person. So the weather doesn't really bother me because I'm going from AC to AC to AC, So there's no outdoor activities. So and like I said,
Exactly.
October, November, December, January, February, March, the weather is good. So at the end, it's not that bad. But
Exactly.
such a vibrant city, full of life. So to me, Dubai, already on the top of my list. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
then when you
Those
get
are
bored, you go to Switzerland.
there you go. Go to Switzerland. Go hit France. Go
Go to
go
Monaco. You go to Vegas, you go
go
to Luxembourg. So you get those things.
exactly.
Like tell
Exactly.
people like say like Buck Trevor asked you say, well, if I had $400 million, what would I do with it?
If they only knew. Exactly. Okay. Well, I'm standing by like a mother.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, well, I've
That's a
so
good note
I
to
was
end on. That's a good note to end on.
yeah. So so to me that was funny. I'm like I said, well, I said, really, my question would have been, my answer should have been, I'll let you in a few weeks.
Whatever. Exactly. I'll let you know. All
I'll let you
right.
know. Yeah.
People
Okay.
wish they knew. Talk to you later, bro. See
Okay.
you in a
Good.
minute.
Okay. Take care.
Peace.
Bye bye.